Hello and welcome to By the Fire with Dave Rudd. I'm Dave Rudd and that's a fireplace. But more importantly is our guest, Dermot O'Leary.
Well, that's strong.
But it's good, right?
You no idea how many bad versions that I hear. So when you hear a good one, that's primo.
That's like the best thing I've ever done in my life. Because I used to come into work regularly and do that.
Yeah. Did you?
Without you here.
Well, in that you've got good practice for
I know,
it, Dave.
right? So to actually do it.
Yeah, no, because there's going to be a time when he can't do. He's a very physical guy, Peter. Peter Dixon, the guy that does it. I don't know if you ever met him, but he's incredible. So I watched him when you watch him in voiceover. He's an extraordinary guy. So he comes out, and he comes out of the voiceover suite, and he's just sweating. He's just pouring off him, and so there's going to come a time when he's not able for it anymore. And that's when you're going to get the call.
Literally, that's what I'm here for. I can do it, I'm good at impressions.
I like By the Fire with Dave. It's a good
right,
thing.
Isn't it? What we're going to hopefully do is get some graphics to do that.
What kind of
post-production and...
what have we got going in there, Dave? Have we got like coal or some logs or something like peat, or what's the deal?
We're gonna get a bit of all of it. Right, so...
How are you, Dave?
I'm good. Are you all right, mate?
I'm very well.
Did you get
good
here
to see you. Not bad. I'm on my bike at the moment. I think it's got a puncture. Motorbike.
Every time I see you, you're having punches.
It's only since I've met you.
Huh?
It's only since I've met you. I used to be like the no puncture guy.
It's what I do to keep you near me whenever you're not looking.
And now you've turned up.
Oh no, another puncher. We'll have to go to the pub together.
Only since we started to meet Dave outside.
So, what influences around you did you have to get into TV presenting, like mum, dad, friends?
None. About 7, 8 years old, my Uncle Frank got retired. He was an electrician for the LEB, the London Electricity Board, and he got a bit bored of just going fishing and in the garden. And he took a job in the Shepherd's Bush Theatre, the BBC Theatre at the time. And Terry Wogan used to do a 3-day-a-week show from there, live show, and he got tickets. So we went up. And we were sat at the back and we were about to watch Wogan. And my mum, he walked past and my mum said, "Oh, can I have an autograph?" And he held a bottle, he gave my mum essentially a bottle of wine in a glass and said, "Would you mind holding that?" And I was just 8 years old looking at this guy and his suit was immaculate. He looked like he was handsome,
dude,
tan,
he was a dude
really handsome man. And he patted me on the head and he signed an autograph and that was the day I fell in love with television.
No way, so Terry Wogan was your influence in TV. That is amazing.
Yeah, unbeknownst to me, really. But it was the romance of the whole thing. Which is why now, when I do X Factor and we have a dress rehearsal, we always get these kids in for dress rehearsal. And it's just you sort of go out your way to make sure that you say hello to like friends' kids or something, just because there's...
Yeah, that's amazing.
Something quite magical about a TV studio still.
What route did you take to become a TV presenter?
Well, I didn't know I was going to be a presenter, so I thought I just wanted to work in telly. I wanted to give it a crack if it was ever open, but I just thought I wanted to work in the industry. So I was a runner. So I graduated from university and then went to America for about 3 months, just travelled and got back. And it was sort of the end of the year, like mid-90s, and I sent letters to about 200 companies, and then I got probably about 15, 20 replies. Most of them were no's.
Yeah.
And then I got a couple of yeses and a maybe or something. So I went for the interview and I started work like January the 2nd or something.
Yeah.
95, 96, somewhere like that.
That's
I was a runner, and then I was a runner and for about 18 months, and a researcher, and an assistant producer. So it was always important for me to start that side of camera, so I knew how to make TV that side of camera.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I've tried to do, really. So, with Big Brother, I went up to Big Brother for 7, 8 years.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Producing that as well. A lot of the stuff I do, try and produce. So you sort of got you have a good grounding on both sides of the camera. It's important.
Here's a good one. What was your first TV appearance? Did it coincide with your first celebrity interview? And what was your view? Because a lot of people think that after their first TV appearance, that's it, they've made it. But really, you've got to still keep working hard.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
Well, it's quite dispiriting because it's an incredibly euphoric experience where I got this pilot show.
Yeah.
And invariably, something like 2 out of 10 pilots get made on telly.
Yeah.
So I got this pilot show, and I was running for this company, this documentary company in Hammersmith called Barrowclough Carey. It's my first job. And a guy, and sort of, so I had my feet under the table, and after about 6 months, they said, "What do you fancy doing?" And I said, "Look, I'll be honest with you, I do want to host, but I want to, I still want to learn how TV's made behind the camera as well.
That's really good.
And I don't want to be the guy going, I want to be a host, because, you know."
Yeah, that's so good of you, because like most people obviously just want to be like, "Meow."
Well, you don't want to shout about it too much. It's odd, because you want to be honest,
You want
but
to show
at the
that
same
you're
time.
doing something rather than just, you know, like kind of looking for that.
And I'd got some work experience, so I was doing some stuff on the radio with BBC Essex. Now, my old politics teacher had got me that work experience there, and they ended up keeping me on as a kind of runner. And then about 6 months in, they said, "What do you fancy doing?" So, and I said, "Look, I wouldn't mind giving, hosting a go." And they said, "Right." They chucked me a mobile phone and keys to a car, and went, get over and cover the, like, something like Harwich versus, like, Basingstoke.
No.
Kind of like, so I was just doing non-league football.
You're an Arsenal fan.
I am, but this was as far away from Premier League as you could possibly imagine. So I'd be driving to a non-league game in the Badlands of Essex somewhere, like middle of nowhere, and the phone would go, and I'd pull over from my phone. And the way they did it was, it would be like, you got to do an opening piece before the game to give us team news. No one's listening to this on BBC Essex. Literally, anyone who wants to be at this game is at this game. So no one is listening to non-league football on the radio, because the fans of the game are there, and everyone else is just. So I have to give the team news. Now, I don't know what the team news is, because half the time I can't find, like, this is pre-sat nav.
No.
So I've got a map, and I'm trying to find these, like, tiny little grounds in the middle of nowhere. So I finally, my first link, or my first piece on the radio, I pull in to the side of a lay-by, and they're going, "What's the atmosphere like?" Dermot O'Leary's there. I go, "It's brilliant atmosphere here, teams are running out, and we'll be back with
No way.
The game's going to be a good game." And then I try and find this, like, ground as quickly as possible. So I had a bit of experience, but this guy called Freddie Nottage, I haven't seen Freddie for years. Freddie said to me at this documentary, he was a film researcher, which is a very specialist job. You get good at this sort of job. You're there you do it for life. So he was working on the movie show I was working on, but he was also working on the movie show that this company was making over in Soho, and they had a pilot show going. And he said, "You fancy being a presenter, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Look, just send him a headshot and a letter." Did that. Got a call, went for an audition.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I could get that nervous about it, went for the audition. The audition went well. Went for a callback, which went well, and then I think I had 2 or 3 more screen tests. Got the job, which was great, because I was a complete unknown. They took a chance on me.
Yeah.
Pilot didn't work out. Did a second pilot, didn't work out.
Oh, third time lucky.
But by then I had a show reel, which I'd helped cut.
Nice.
And I weirdly, through the pilot, got an agent out of it. So I had the same agent I'm with today, and I.
That's really good. That's
15, maybe more 20 years ago.
honouring your agent. That's brilliant.
Well, they're great. I mean, it's,
yeah, exactly.
if you find a manager that you believe in and is your mate and you work hard together, then sort of, the buck stops at you at the end of the day. I'm not saying, we don't have fallouts, because of course we do. But
yeah.
you meet a lot of people that go, "Oh, I'm not with that agent anymore." I'm like, it's your job. It's your job.
First celebrity interview, before I forget, can you remember?
First celebrity interview was on that pilot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That's all right.
And it was, well, my first celebrity interview on that pilot was either Los Del Rio, who are the guys who did the Macarena. Remember them?
Yeah, I do.
Remember the Macarena? The sort of 2-3 old Spanish dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a bad song.
Oh, that's so funny. That's like that bit in Clockwork Orange where the tune's played. Is that it for you? It's like you jump out the window.
So with those guys, I can't remember who was on that pilot. Maybe John Thompson, who was on Cold Feet at the time. But my first live TV interview was at the first day I did T4, and it was Beth Orton, who's the folk singer, and Cleopatra.
Really?
And
the band?
Yeah.
Obviously.
And the guys from, as opposed to the old Egyptian deity. And the guys from Queer as Folk.
That is pretty good going.
So, and Andy Peters, who's sort of my boss at T4, who was like the kids' TV presenter. But this really good commissioning editor. So he bought shows, which is what a commissioning editor needs to do really well. He was our executive producer. He also was a great studio director. So he could do all these things, Andy. He was brilliant. Like, sort of never really gets the praise he deserves because he's got to be sharp to do all those things. And Andy started early doors and got us all in. We were all sort of early 20s, and Andy said, look, I don't drink, but you guys do, and I want to make a great hangover TV show on a Sunday. So make the show you want to make, and I'll guide you. So
You had free reign.
Oh, it was so nice. It was such a lovely show to make because it was all kind of continuity links and stuff. And so we could kind of have a lot of fun with it. And he bought these. He was sort of saddled with quite a lot of these old, like legendary Channel 4 shows, like the Waltons and stuff. And then we had Hollyoaks, and then he sort of bought in kind of shows with varying degrees of success. Some were great, Dawson's Creek, and some weren't so great.
God.
And so we sort of, for this life to be over. I love it. That was, and so it was a really fun time to be there. It was a really interesting time to sort of, to be on a show like that. And I was very lucky to be on a show that just starts like that. So there was kind of like you take the mick out of them, but you would never ever question their right to be on television, or you sort of, because the thing is, if you're looking down your nose at it, then why are people at home going to watch it?
Yeah, true.
And so our take was like,
I loved it though.
Our take was like, we love those shows.
Like Simon on Pop World.
Oh, he was brilliant.
Killing celebrities, and then he went from that to Never Mind the Buzzcocks to kill celebrities even more.
But the thing, Simon's a genuinely lovely guy, so he would always be. And he was sort of self-confessed. He didn't really like pop music, so he just
he made Britney Spears cry.
Yeah.
So your most notable work is obviously the
X Factor.
Yeah. And the eight years that you spent on it.
Yeah.
And you are returning.
Yeah. Thanks.
Did you see what happened when you weren't there? They needed 2 people to do your job.
No, I didn't. I didn't watch it deliberately. I was away for most of it.
Oh, really? Going back to it, your return, which is wonderful. Yeah. What are you most looking forward to?
Live shows.
Yeah.
It's the live shows, something crazy.
You are so good at them.
Thank you.
And that is something I'm going to come on to. Like you never. I don't want to say this to jinx you, but you never mess up.
Oh man! Would immediately.
You
do mess up. You do mess up.
You never
but
miss
you just
a
try
beat.
and cover your mistakes.
I'm like,
that's all you
whoa.
do. That's all you do.
Don't
come on, says that. It's really freaking me out.
You are an incredible broadcaster.
No, I'm not.
No, you are.
I'm not. You just practice a lot, and then you end up doing it a while, and then you end up. It's like any job. You just get competent at it the more you do. That's all.
Here's the better one. What I would think is more tricky than doing the live X Factor is the NTAs, which is at the O2, and a mix of the public and celebrities, all whilst drinking.
Yeah.
How do you manage that crowd?
You ignore. Well,
Danny Dyer on the last
What you do, yes. What you do is with that show, almost every other show, I always think like you play to the audience, so you make sure if the audience there having a good time, then hopefully people at home are having a good time. When you get to something like the O2, it's such a big kind of cavernous arena, like barn-like, that you end up just going, do you know what? You have to play to camera and hope that people in the audience are having a good time. But you look down, and where the people from telly are sat is like the fall of Saigon. You look like everyone looks so beautiful to start with, and then they've been drinking all day, and they haven't seen their friends for ages, and so you finish the first part, and you look down, and it's carnage. It's just people are clambering over seats to see someone else, and people just go for cigarettes outside. So you come back from the break, and no one will be sat there. So you look down, and you got these seat fillers in. These kids from university. These poor kids are just going, go and sit in Hugh Bonneville's seat. No, he's come back. Get out of Hugh Bonneville's seat. Like, go back. So sometimes you go, oh, cast of Downton Abbey here. You look down, and you're like, that's not the cast of Downton Abbey. I'm looking down where they're supposed to be sat, but that's not the cast of Downton. So it's quite a big old beast, but you can't worry about it too much.
That's incredible. Yeah, because obviously drinking being a close thing to my heart, because like I remember when I was doing it, like I was literally like obviously like out of control. That's why I had to stop. I'm 22 months now, And yeah, it's just like the thing where I wonder, you know, like if you're doing that job and if there's anyone in the crowd like me, like, oh God, like I feel sorry for you. But you literally hold it together amazingly, like especially the last one.
Yeah, most people are pretty, even if they, you know, they are kind of. The thing is, in live telly, you prep as much as you possibly can, and if you prep as much as you possibly can, then you almost want stuff to go a little awry, because then, but you can never produce that. It just either happens or it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You got to be pretty kind of stoical about the whole thing.
The last and final question. Good look at that for timing. I haven't touched mine.
How come?
Always good thinking. I don't know, I guess I'm lubricant. Final question. Who is Dave Rudd?
I'm answering who Dave Rudd is.
Who is Dave Rudd?
Dave Rudd is a big hairy guy that used to live next to me, who has a smashing personality.
Oh, thanks.
And even though I don't know him well, I like his moxie. I like his chutzpah. And he seems like quite a lovely, intelligent, sensitive soul.
Thanks, mate. Can I?
Did I get it right?
Yeah, no, that's wonderful.
Is that who Dave Rudd is?
Can I just round off by saying this thing to round off? When I did my first showreel, which was with London Academy, back when I was 20 years old, I did it with the guy from Blue Peter. I'd probably forget his name now, which is really bad. Obviously, I was drinking at the time. And they said.
By the way, you can't blame everything on drinking at the time. You can't go through your whole life and go if you make any mistake, you can't just go, well, I was drinking at the time, so
I was drinking.
All bets are off then.
But they said.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't remember his name.
What was it, Mike?
I don't know. I was probably drinking at the time as well. Mike. I don't think it was Mike. I don't think it.
Mike or something. I can't remember.
Stuart.
He had glasses and stuff. Anyway, he said, "Are there any TV presenters that you look up to at the moment, in now on the telly?" And I said, Demot O'Leary.
Get out. And he went.
I did.
And he went. He's a twat.
And he said, no. And he said, that's probably, the best answer you can give. He's a solid broadcaster. So for me to actually be here.
That's his way of saying he finds my stuff quite boring.
But
a solid broadcaster? That's the worst.
But after that, I then got obsessed with looking at everyone on TV and, if they made mistakes and stuff, and you were literally solid. So it's good what he said. But
mistakes are good though.
Yeah.
Mistakes aren't bad. If you do live, you're going to make mistakes.
So
it's important.
So to go back 8 years ago and say that the TV presenter I looked up to was Dermot O'Leary, skip ahead 8 years and interviewing now, I can only say it's an honour.
Thank you. Although I have been in the industry 8 years, so I don't quite know where your stats are from.
It might have been when I was 23. I can't remember my ages.
Next time I come round, can we at least get the fire on?
I was drinking, yeah. So, and I guess I've got to look into that camera right behind you.
In that case, I'll go like this.
Thank you for watching By the Fire with Dave Rudd with our special guest, Demot O'Leary. We're now going to put some mushrooms on a fake fire with fake mushrooms, but that'll all be done in post-production graphics. Thanks very much.
I'm looking forward to those marshmallows. Oh, that fire's hot.
Thanks, mate. Right, that's it.